Welcome to Third Floor Views, a production of Chesapeake Family Life, where we talk about health, education, and living with kids. I'm your host, Janet Jefferson. Today, we are here with Ken Starks, President, CEO, and founder of Community Transitions, and Isaac Colbert, editor, producer, and field director involved with the Hood2Good Movement. They are here to talk about the work that they are currently doing in the Hood2Good Movement today. So thank you, a huge thank you to both Isaac and Ken for being here with us today, because I know you have a very busy schedule. Also, thank you to our viewers. Make sure you submit any questions or comments you have in the comments section, and we will try to get to as many as we can. Let's jump in. So first off, Ken, I'd love for you to talk to us a little bit about yourself, your own background, and how Community Transitions as an organization came about.
All right, that's easy. I'm gonna be quick about me because we keep the focus on these kids. I'm Ken Starks, clearly not one of the members like a kid of Hood2Good. Community transition started with, after like 6 years of working with Bates Middle School, right? I worked there about 6 years. And then after that, I worked with kids who often had issues in the classroom. So I started working with a different kind of kids. And after that, I started working with the Boys and Girls Club. And once I got finished working with them as the club director at the Bates Heritage one, I moved on and I said, it's time. It was in 2017. And it really started when a young kid was killed. And it's kind of funny how this story is going to tie in throughout the whole interview. This young kid was killed. Terry Mosley? Bosley, sorry. Forgive me for mispronouncing, a little nervous. But anyway, so when that happened, that was in 2017, November, we stopped. It was right after Thanksgiving. We said, this is it. We have to do something. So we started this organization, and it was simply meant for kids in middle school to come out after school program to do what they wanted via the arts or via basketball and mentoring. And then we started a summer camp. To go on me, I grew up in, PG County, Bladensburg, Upper Marlboro. So I'm from that area. My wife is actually born and raised in Annapolis. So I worked in I worked in government and I worked in entertainment through BET and television. And then I left and I started coaching. And when I started coaching kids, it started making me realize that they need more than just sports. They need someone there for them, someone they can talk to, someone they can lean on. And that's what got me into leaving the entertainment industry. And then I started working. I just applied for the school system. I said, I just want to work with kids. I don't know what I want to do. I just want to work with kids and help them. So it just started. And I coached high school football, a little bit of high school basketball, and started my own basketball organization just to connect with the kids. And I found that that got me closer into the community of Annapolis. So it allowed me to go into every neighborhood in Annapolis. So it was kind of cool because all through the neighborhoods, even in the periods where they weren't always getting along in Annapolis, I was able to go in, work with kids, and bridge that gap. So that was a beautiful thing. And that's how we got here, and that's how everything led up to community transition. And to be honest, in a nutshell, that's how it all started.
It's a great story. Isaac, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about Hood2Good, what it is, and then a little bit about yourself and how you got involved.
Hood2Good is like Stark said, it started from a friend that, a mutual friend that all of us had that we lost. I was not one of the original founders of the group. I ended up joining maybe 2 years after Hood2Good was already established with Mr. Starks. Me and him were always good friends from him working at the different schools that I went to. And he ended up bringing up to me, hey, I had this group, nonprofit. We do a lot of stuff around the community. I think that you would enjoy it. So I started to attend, and I enjoyed the meetings that we had. I enjoyed the visions that Hood2Good had. I enjoyed being a part of something else. I graduated last year from Annapolis High School. I work for the Department of Health, Partnership for Children, Youth, and Families. So my job works around children also. I'm a peer navigator. Besides that, I do art with Mr. Starks. I teach kids photography. I do dance. And as Starks just said, now I'm also producer and film director. And I host a lot of the projects that we're working on. It's just been a fun joyride, I'll say, to be in Hood2Good and do the things that we get to do to help out the community and the enjoyment that we get from helping everyone.
Mm-hmm. So clearly the role in the community is really important. And that aspect of working together through a project, whether that be sports or art, is definitely a glue that's pulling people together. Isaac, can we back up just a touch and you talk just about what is Hood2Good? What is this movement, and why is it important?
So what I believe the movement is to show the community that no matter what you're going through, you can still make a good situation out of anything. So to show the hardships that we have, if it's racial justice or if it's just in our own communities, if it's with poverty or just behavior, or even just something so simple as just being cold during the winter or hungry during a different time. It's showing that no matter what, we can still make something good happen out of anything. So I think that's really what Hood2Good really wants to do when it focuses on the community. I think that's what we achieve. I think that's what a lot of people feel we're trying to show.
A positive lens to some challenging times. So tonight's a big night for you guys. Isaac, could you, since you're a pivotal role this evening, could you talk about what's happening at Maryland Hall tonight, and what can we expect, and how can we participate due to the current challenges of our COVID pandemic?
If anyone would like to join, Maryland Hall is live streaming it from their Instagram page. We can send out the links to you, and you can send them to your followers if you would like. I believe a couple of the people tonight will be live streaming also, but tonight is another one of our showcases that we do. So as Mr. Stark said before, our showcases are children that we have in Hood2Good, from members to the kids that we reach out to and mentor, or to friends of friends that we invite, saying, hey, I know you like making music, or you like doing poetry or painting. We're having a showcase, and if you're comfortable with it, come out and show your talent, something to get people to express themselves. And what tonight basically is just that. We've done a couple of them. What we do is we invite all kinds of artists. So sadly, we don't have any film people, but if you did film, we want to invite you to show your movie. If you sing, we want you to sing a song, show us the song that you write. If you do poetry, we want you to do poetry. We do people that do rapping, dancing. One person we had, he makes his own songs that he sung and painted at the same time. It's an outlet for everything. And tonight is really just showcasing the talent that we have in Annapolis, and showing that we have so much talent that we can reach out to, and letting everybody have a good time during all of this stuff that's going on right now.
Absolutely. So in terms of performers, are people who are involved in the showcase, is it specifically youth, and is there a target age range?
It is specifically youth. I would still say, yeah, some of us are adults, but we're still closer to youth than anything. Yeah. So I don't believe it's really a strict target either. I believe it's for little kids. I believe it's for older adults. I believe it's for everyone. Make sure our shows are wholesome and joyful. So I think it's just whoever is interested and whoever wants to have a good time tonight, I think it's for everyone to watch. We invite everyone to our shows. Anyone, all ages, everything.
And Ken, can you just reiterate, where can people see the showcase tonight?
Absolutely. Like you said, Isaac stated earlier, you can go to Maryland Hall's Instagram page. You can go to Hood2Good Instagram page, or you can go to H2G Hood2Good Movement Facebook page. So you have those outlets. And you're also going to have Duck Sauce YouTube channel. He's one of our performers. It's going to be an awesome night. It really just showcases these young kids, and it shows people that, whoa, it's not just kids who want to perform. These kids are actually talented in their craft, right? And now they get a place where they can let off their artistic piece. And there's another way to draw other kids in to say, I could do that, or I could do this. And that's what we're really about. And what to speak on when you ask about Hood2Good, I'll say this real quick. Hood2Good is 3 prongs. We service the communities. We go into every community and we say, what do you need? What would you like to do? What do you need from us? And we go meet that need. And we do the best we can to meet that need. And then our second prong is we do community affairs and roundtable discussions with the chief of police. We've done 4 of those. We've done one with the Board of Education people, candidates, right? And then we've, and our third prong is we actually work with our music, our art, right? We do everything in that aspect so that way we can have all these ways. And I say, if you're going to do the art, and I want you to do that, I want you to be aware of your future as well. So I want you to be well-rounded. And that's the whole piece of Hood2Good. And applying platforms for kids. And then we support them as they graduate and transition. Most of our kids who have their jobs and a lot of help doing college and mentors that come from us. We really assist all the way through.
That's great. That I think it's so important to have that continued support, especially during those challenging transitions from high school to college or a job or wherever. That's often when I think youth need some extra support to make those transitions smoothly. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the projects that you're working on, because clearly there's so many, and we're getting tons of comments right now on how can we get involved and what's going on and what are the various art projects that you're working on, and you spoke also about the racial justice projects you're working on as well, and you've mentioned sports. So Ken, could you just take a moment to talk about some of the different projects that you are working on now and maybe in the future, and then how youth can get involved?
Right, absolutely. The biggest thing we're working on right now is setting up with our collaborative nonprofits serving children and youth of Annapolis, getting outdoor classrooms. Laura Brino from our outreach program at Maryland Hall, which Hood2Good is under, is the one who spearheaded that thing, had the vision, had everything. And we just sat and we kept pinging to the point it was like her dream came real. So we set up classrooms. The first one was in Eastport. We had a lot of different other organizations jump in. You have Aaron Snell that assisted. You got D Ward that came through. I don't want to say the guy's name wrong, but his brother-in-law supplied the actual tree stumps for the stools in the class.
Oh, awesome.
So the kids got to paint it. It was just an incredible thing. So now what we're working on is Isaac is going to work, he's working on doing a tutoring through photography class. We have a couple other students working on a dance and tutoring, but everything we do is art, and we have to be, part of it has to be educational. That's just, if we got that ladder of teaching, right? Our older kids teaching our younger kids. So we teach them a little bit about our dance and then teach them maybe the history of it. So you learn a different component. So we're pretty much working on those things. And we're working on right now, one of our groups that's in Hood2Good, YCG, is working on putting, they just won a grant through the Links program. And now they're putting together an album. And we're working on virtual classrooms Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with poetry. We have a Madden where kids can actually play Madden in a season and win, right? And win the championship. And then we have our version of a dance. So you think you can dance, and it's a weekly dance challenge. So we have all these opportunities. I will say this, it is so hard to get these kids to jump on that level, to get them committed. We'll get 5, 6, 7, then we'll get 10, and then it's so iffy. I just wish that they could really jump on. And if you hear me, parents, and just trust it. I promise you they will love it. They will enjoy it. And it's for our middle school kids and younger kids. It's just a way that they could do something and connect and talk socially and learn how, through a game or through dance or through whatever, learn how to lift each other up instead of always having jokes. You got jokes, I hear you, but we can't always have jokes. So yeah.
So you talked a little bit about the role of parents and asking for a little extra support from them to sort of trust in the process. Do you have any other suggestions for adults who are looking to support the work that you're doing? Are there things that the community members can do to help out with community transitions or Hood to Good specifically?
Yes, naturally, I would say with COVID, it killed a lot of volunteer support and that those type of opportunities. So right now, we would say funding naturally.
Hmm.
I hate to always say state funding, but it is what it is.
Hmm.
Need funding to do these things, right?
Absolutely.
So that's mainly one of the things. And just like when we do community support and we go into a community and do an event or do something like a coat distribution, and like right now we're going into our outdoor classrooms and putting together a list of kids who need what for the winter time as the winter comes for these outdoor classrooms. So as we're doing that, we might need support for volunteers doing those things, finding out the schedules. I just, I say, be honest, just believe that any kid, given the right conditions, can do anything. And a lot of time it is support, and that can make a difference. And we find that even with no money, and Isaac can tell you it's times that he worked so much for free in the early days, he did so much that he saw the difference in how the kids performed emotionally, academically, and socially, just by being around people who were different.
Hmm.
And it showed them different, right? So, and that's the beauty. So you can support by donations. And it's the same as before. You could go to Maryland Live, I mean, not Maryland Live, Maryland Hall, our Art Reach, definitely go through them and you can donate through there because all of that money trickles down. And that Art Reach program is so amazing. It does so many different things. And it makes Maryland Hall inclusive for so many communities in all communities. So I commend Emily and everyone, Damien, everyone at Maryland Hall, Laura, everyone who put this thing together and made this thing happen, not just with Hood2Good, but everything. It's been a powerful impact in the community.
Hmm. Hmm. You spoke a little bit about COVID causing a drop in volunteers. And then I know the plan tonight was to have a much larger in-person audience for the Hood2Good showcase, and have it in person, outdoors, and have it safe. But of course, times change really fast around here. And so unfortunately, you had to cut the ticket sales or the tickets available for this evening in person. What are some other things or other ways that COVID has impacted your work, either in terms of you weren't able to operate how you were initially planning, or it provided new opportunities or challenges that sort of opened up new projects? They're like, oh, I now see a need that maybe wasn't there before, or maybe wasn't quite as obvious. So if you could just speak a little bit about how COVID's changed your work.
COVID changed what we did, like it changed everyone in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It first stopped us in our tracks. Right? And then we had to collect ourselves individually before we can collect ourselves collectively.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then we had to do that together. We spent a lot of time just zooming with one another and just talking with one another. And it's so funny how I talk about how it changed us and halted us. It also speaks about how it grew us, because simultaneously we met more because we didn't physically have to go. We have an office with the collaboration with the Public Defender's Office, 94 Franklin Street, which we have an office where we have our whole little desk and everything, right? So we have our own little space, and we haven't been there since February because of this, right? Everything changed when it came to physical, I would say. But it changed us and it grew us in a way that we have members now, I'll say this, who now make jewelry, sell art, and sell it, right? And they sell it. We have people now that make videos because now they have the time. So where it hit hard, we adjusted. And now we do a lot of virtual everything. With our programming, with our after school programming with Maryland Hall in summer camp, we just went virtual. We came up with ways. We even stopped after a while. Brino and I stopped even talking about in person and just went straight virtual because that was no longer a plan. And
Right.
for the foreseeable future, right?
Right.
And we just adjusted. And honestly, we have grown in that respect because we found our ways. You could still entertain. We could still do this. We can still host these art classes where everyone can come in and join. So now we're at the board where we're talking now, Bruno and I, what's next? What are we going to hit next? That this is the situation. So it's more optimism than it is defeat. And it's a defeated time for a lot of people. I get that if you're a brick and mortar.
Right.
That's the beauty of being a philosophy, I guess, right?
Absolutely. I mean, your work is all about relationships and community building. And we're in this time where we can adapt to do that in a virtual way because people are still here. It's just finding ways to connect with them. So 2020 has been an explosive year. COVID's only a small piece of the puzzle. Could you speak just a little bit about the racial justice events that are going on in sort of the greater Annapolis, Maryland, even national level, and specifically, what is Hood2Good and community transition's role in that, and where do you see your place in sort of moving that conversation forward?
I think our role is what our names are: community transition and Hood2Good. We can't always determine where we start. Even during this crazy racial, crazy time where it's just been elevated because of the pandemic, right? So now you have time to really focus on it. Rightfully so, because it has to change. Where do we come in? We come in with opportunities, with a platform to give young kids and families, hey, I hear you. We're not going to dwell on what's wrong. We're going to focus on what can we do about it. On any level, whether it's we have a hunger need, so we got to figure out ways that you can eat now, but not only eat now, how can you now sustain eating going forward? How can you make that change? What can you do? And what are you willing to sacrifice for a little bit of time to change everything? What are you willing to commit? What is your role? So we figured out how to work with people on how to elevate them. We figured out, okay, through this, now you can use social media, you can use the internet and all of these virtual ways to create a business. So we have a lot of kids doing that. Our role is actually assisting in the community, how you need it, because we have a lot of kids who've been touched not only by the racial injustice, but by the street wars that's going on in Annapolis. And they're losing their friends. And it's been crushing a lot of kids. And all of it is coming to a head, right? So they're dealing with social injustice, they're dealing with police brutality, you're dealing with political foolishness, and you're dealing with neighborhood beefs that's been going on for who knows what and who knows why. But they're here and they're real. So you're dealing with a lot. So we provide not just a safe haven to get away, but where you can find who you are in a safe place to mentally move away so you can physically move away to come back and change the way. And that's our role, is creating opportunities to change. We worked on young ladies in our program, and Isaac took pictures. He was a photographer, have done a mural, and it'll be released in the new year when they do, when Maryland All Outreach does a social injustice series, concert series and art series. So those things, bringing awareness, and with Maryland Hall, like the Black Lives Matter banners hanging from there, I think that was like, that to me was, I can take a lot if I see that, because that represented so much of that ideology before where it doesn't now. So our vision is on the positive, dealing with the reality.
Isaac, could you talk a little bit about what's it like working with Hood to Good and with community transition this summer and this fall, and think about maybe what have been some of your biggest successes, and then maybe also some of your biggest challenges, specifically, as sort of boots on the ground, working with kids, being a mentor, putting together these art showcases. What have been moments when you're like, yes, I like this is working. I'm so proud of this. And then what have maybe been some other moments where there just been some really big hurdles to leap over?
I think all of the moments have been like, yes, this is what I do, and all of them have been like, this is a lot. I think I think my biggest thing that I really had like trying to grasp working with Mr. Starks over the years is that because I've been with Hood2Good, this is a rough estimate, but I'll say at least 5 years roughly. And the biggest thing is my role progressively getting bigger. And I think that's the main challenge. It goes from being a volunteer to getting, oh, now you're a member, and now you're a mentor. Now you're starting to get to the level of being a president and different higher components of the company. I think it's just moving up the ladder and taking responsibility for the work that you have to do. I think that has maybe been the toughest, but at the same time, I was up for the challenge and I enjoyed every bit of it. Working with Mr. Starks over the years, even this summer and everything, it was a lot of fun. I can't say it was really like hard, like building the outdoor classrooms was fun. Painting, inviting the kids out there to join us, not even just us setting up everything. Seeing them have so much fun painting everything, painting the benches, the stumps, them enjoying building their murals. It's been a lot of fun. Yes, it can be work, as it always is, but it's enjoyment at the same time. As everyone says, it's not really work if you're doing something you like doing.
Yeah, that's so true. Ken, I want to throw the same question over to you in terms of some of the biggest successes and biggest challenges, more maybe on a organizational level. And I'd also like to talk a little bit about how Hood2Good and community transitions have been received by the greater community. Clearly, it's been embraced by Maryland Hall, and they've become a big advocate. But how has the rest of the community been there, either to support or perhaps provide certain challenges?
Sure. I will start with, when you say what are the greatest things we've accomplished with community transitions. First, I want to start with Hood2Good was founded at the same time because of the same reason, during that death, by a kid, Jaime Toro, and about 3 other kids. But he's the still existing member. So he's the founder, and he's away right now up on work up in Pennsylvania, doing away at a job. So he couldn't be with us, or he'd have been here. But I would say one of our greatest accomplishments is, to be honest, is the engagement in the community, the things we've been able to do, able to give away 2 years in a row over 250 coats, provide to the community is it's up and a down. One, I wish we didn't have to.
Absolutely.
But we were pleased that the neighborhood and the community pulled together to allow us to, right? That's one of my biggest things that I'm really proud of, that the kids really stay focused on, 2 years in a row dedicated. And this
I would have to agree to that.
You say you agree?
Yeah, I think that's our biggest accomplishment in my eyes also.
And then I would say our showcases, how we went from just showing up on an open mic night at the art farm to them saying, hey, how about y'all coming down here and performing, your whole group? And we weren't really a group. We were like some kids in our group just perform, you know what I mean? And my promise to them is, if you're committed to what you're doing, I'll do my very best to provide that platform, and provide the resources. So that's been a great accomplishment, that we've been able to do this, and that was leading up till tonight. And that now we're merged with Maryland Hall, part of their outreach program, where they've taken on the Hood2Good Movement is such a blessing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the challenges, I would say this. I stopped looking at them as challenges,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, it's just not the way it's supposed to be done.
Hmm.
So when something gets in the way or something doesn't work out, I say, okay, it's another way or another idea. Be open for what comes next. And that proved to be kind of working, right? So, and what it does is, because I have a choice to like focus on what happened
Mm-hmm.
and what can I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so often in times in my life, I used to focus on what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm stuck and I'm no longer looking at my direction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the past, and the past you can't change. So if it didn't work out, if whatever challenges, I say COVID, but then that became an opportunity. I say refusal, but then that became another resource. So it works out. I lost 50 cents, I gained 50 cents. So it just works out. So I looked at it that way. Because the bottom line is these kids are the determining factor of how successful they are. And the biggest thing I'm successful of is how many kids we got off to college through the years, right? And this year in particular, because a lot of them had challenges and were apprehensive on going. So the ones who didn't and gave up their college rides now needed job opportunities. And we found them ways, and we found a lot of kids, a lot of ways, and they work together with us. A lot of resources, workforce development, the city of Annapolis, the county, everyone, the state, everybody really pitched in and helped out for our kids. So it's been a blessing. So that's been the hurdles. The community, I have to honestly say, I couldn't be in a greater community, right? They've embraced us. They've embraced the kids. They support us any way they can. They're always there. Even other groups and organizations, we collaborate and do things together. And if we don't do them together, we support each other no matter what. So it's been a beautiful thing, man. Shout out to everyone who's doing a thing in Annapolis. I'm not going to name any because I leave you out. You know how y'all are. I'm not going to do it. So I'll just leave it at that. Shout out to all of y'all. Thank you for the work you do. I commend all of you.
Ken, I love your outlook on challenges. In terms of seeing the positive, I feel like it's a very, very wise perspective, and it's something that I need to work on adapting myself. My last question really quick, because I don't want to hold you too much over. Ken, could you just speak to the future and sort of your hopes and dreams or projects that you're working on that you're really excited about that are around the bend?
Yes, the biggest thing we're excited about is really getting back into Merlin Hall and laying it out the way we see it physically, as far as the rooms and the layout. And then opening that platform where kids can come in and express themselves and have younger kids who've been through the program are the teachers, you know what I mean, and giving back. And that's what we want to promote, keep giving back where the arms are reaching and you don't know if they're pulling, but they're always lifting each other up, right? And that's the goal with that. The future for us is to really be an impact with the community, to serve, to be honest, to serve in any capacity that is needed. Yes, we have what we specialize in, but if they say, hey, we just need people to do dishes at the Stanton Center, or at the Rex or whatever, we're there. We got you. Okay, now don't give me the calls on can we do dishes tomorrow night. But but we just want to serve the community and build that that village, because we keep hearing the one Annapolis, and make it true, because I believe in that concept, one Annapolis. And that's the goal. It's really definitely with the Outreach program with Brino. I'm just so excited about that and the ideas that's going to generate, that's going to really give our kids exposure the ones who are really talented, because we have so many talented kids,
Mhm.
but they also have, I guess, a lack of confidence that we're working on.
Hmm. Hmm.
But that's our goal. That's what we want to do. Promote them, make them successful, and see our kids through their dreams. Let them live their dreams.
Yeah, that is exciting. Those are big, exciting things to look forward to. Well, thank you so much to Ken Starks and to Isaac Colbert. And thank you especially for taking time out of today, because it is the artist showcase that Hood2Good is putting on. And so I know, Isaac, you've got a lot of things to attend to. So big thank you for being here with us today and taking the time to talk about Hood2Good and community transitions. Thank you also to all of our viewers and listeners today. Make sure that you visit ChesapeakeFamily.com for up-to-date local information on home, health, and living for today's Maryland parent. And then check out Hood2Good and community transitions for ways that you can get involved. This episode will be archived on ChesapeakeFamily.com in video and podcast format. I'm Janet Jefferson with Chesapeake Family Life and Third Floor Views. Thanks so much.